Hey, what's up guys? John here. Rents are going parabolic all across America. Whether you live in New York City or Austin, Texas or Miami, all these markets, all the prime markets, you're spending $3,000, $4,000, $8,000 a month just to rent an apartment. It's absolutely crazy. I feel bad because now what's happening is interest rates are going through the roof. And so as that happens, more and more people are priced out of the market, forcing upward demand on rentals, making things even harder for everyday Americans to find a place to live, an affordable place to live. For example, in Manhattan right now, the average rent's $4,000 a month. You need to make $160,000 a year just to be considered. And when I say, an average apartment, I literally mean a shoebox, like a very, like a bachelor, to where you have no kitchen. It's just a very, very small, very tiny. This lady, I'm going to show you a video in a second, but this lady shows an apartment. It's a 2-bedroom, $8,000 a month. She shows another apartment, $12,000 a month. And there's this gentleman here, for example, his rent just went up by 50%. 50%. I think I know why. I think I kind of have an idea as to what's going on in New York. And I think that it's very telling as to what trends could be following the rest of the country.
For those of you who have a lease renewal coming up, I want to make you feel a little bit better. I asked people on Instagram what their rent increases were like, and a lot of people said 100, 200. A couple people said 600. I just got one for 1,300. Just a little background. Rent is always paid on time. We've never needed to call them to fix anything because we've pretty much kept everything in pristine condition. We've lived here for like 2 years, and there have been 0 advancements to the apartment or to the building itself. We also are always traveling, so we're rarely in the apartment. We are what you call the dream tenants. And the fact that we are getting an increase of $1,300 pretty much prices us out on principal alone. This enrages me because I've heard other people's rent going up 50%. And what is the New York City government doing? We saw how quick New York City government has been to act about things before, and yet there has been 0 action from anyone at all. I'm curious, is anyone else's rent increase going insane, and what are you doing if so?
Now, I myself, I was very fortunate because when I was renting, my rent was $800, $1,000, $1,500, $2,000, affordable, relatively affordable years ago. Today, imagine going to school. Imagine going to school, become a professional, or you're working very hard, you're making, let's say, $10,000 a month, and you can barely even afford to rent, or make it $8,000 or $6,000 a month. And you can't afford just to have a basic roof over your head. It's a very, very big problem that's happening all over the country. And I think that this problem is likely only going to continue for a couple reasons. So this lady right here,
Landlord decided to raise our rent an absurd amount because it's a condo building, and apparently they can do that. So here we are apartment hunting. This was a 2-bed, 2-bath in the East Village. This was listed at $8,000, which is absurd. I mean, it's a nice apartment, but not that nice. The living room is a good size and you get good light, but keep in mind there's no room for bar stools, so you would have to fit your kitchen table out there as well. This was the master bedroom. Once again, good size and good light, but the closets were really small and the bathroom was outdated. This market right now is insane. The inventory levels are so low. I've never seen it like this, and this is my 8th time moving in New York. This was the 2nd bedroom, so if you are looking for like a roommate situation, this room is definitely very small, but if you're using it for like an office or something like that, it should be good. I went to go see another unit in the building just because why not? This was listed at $12,000 a month, way out of my budget, but I just thought I would go see it. It was listed this high because they had a big terrace, which I couldn't show because it was an open house and everyone was out there. The master bedroom and master bathroom is really nice, but not worth it for $12,000 in my opinion. Wish me luck on my search.
crazy, $12,000 a month for that. So this is interesting because this gentleman right here says that he's in real estate in New York. He says that I think it's unconscionable that some landlords are keeping units off of the market and are just sitting with their arms crossed waiting for rents to go up. Linda told Wall Street Journal that their landlord levied vacant units in an attempt to overturn a 2019 law that removed 20% hikes, right? But now they're saying that this guy, Evan, a former real estate broker, said the apartment has 4 units, and he gives a tour, 4 units, and they're keeping them vacant, just waiting, hopefully, for the laws to change, right? Waiting for the laws to change. Landlords are just taking units off of the market. Now, a lot of people would say, well, I would, we should do something about that. Like, I would try to move into one of those units, or I would try to do something. It's unfair because they're increasing the prices. But what's happening right now is I think that a lot of landlords are taking units off of the market in New York for a couple unique reasons. Right now, there's 595,000. This is January 31st, so the number's probably increased by now, but 595,000 tenants that are not paying rent. They're behind on rent. 595,000. That's substantial, right? Out of a whopping 2,183,000. So that's 27%. 27% of all units, the tenants are simply not paying. And so if we look at what's happening in Florida right now with insurance, what are we seeing? We're seeing insurance companies, they're taking on massive losses, and what are they doing? They're passing those losses on to all other households, right? They're just pushing off the losses. I believe that what's happening in New York is we're seeing a couple things. Sure, we're seeing some greedy landlords, but we are definitely seeing landlords that are incurring massive losses that are pushing those losses off onto the residents throughout the city. So when we're looking for a solution, the solution I believe would be to potentially build more housing, to try to build some type of viable solution to get the entire community working together. Not really so much of an overreach and more restrictions, more regulations. I don't think that's ever really helped anything. If we look at the most expensive places to live in America, originally it was Los Angeles and New York, and those are the most restricted, right? There's a reason for that. The more restrictions, the more problems, the less actually gets done in the city. Then we look at this lady here. This lady and her husband, they were living in Brickell in Miami. A beautiful place, right? This lady lived in Brickell, Miami, $2,100. Her rent was jacked up to $3,000 a month, $3,000 a month. And what do? They had to relocate. They had to downsize from a 2-bedroom to 1-bedroom. And this lady right here, her rent in Austin, Texas.
No.
Are you okay?
No.
No.
Wow, $4,700 a month, going from $2,200 a month. Right? Now, I do believe what we're going to be seeing here, unfortunately, is going to be this, as I've mentioned, an upward demand on rental units. And I think that we really need to build out some type of system or some type of ecosystem in which developers are incentivized to build housing, affordable housing, even if it's outside of the desirable city, something affordable just to be able to take off some of the pressure on those units to bring rents down. That's what needs to be done. We need more housing in America. There's no doubt about it. Because this renter nation, how many people are going to be able to afford to buy a house if home prices do not plummet, which they very may well. But if home prices do not plummet, then what we could have is a very, very big situation in which we have so many more people fighting over rentals. So many more people fighting over rentals to where people start doing room sharing a lot more, and the quality of living in America starts to deteriorate with the high cost. Because if you have insurance costs going up, you have higher vacancies, you have more problems, more headaches. All this is going to do is have the landlord pass on all those costs to the renter. What do you think about this entire situation? I mean, we're looking at this problem, I believe, could be in its early stages. They go on to say right here that they reported 1,814 apartment listings were removed in March in order to drive up competition in the market, a move condemned by the state assembly member, right? I think it's unconscionable, right, that they just keep their units off the market. What do you think about this entire situation? What would you do? What do you think the solution is to this problem? Drop your comments below. Hit the like button, subscribe, or else subscribe to my second YouTube channel. It's going to be an interactive show and a podcast this upcoming week. And LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, everything is in the banner. And I'll catch you guys in the next video.